Right, here we go. Hey guys, NAMM 2020 with Brian here, who's very kindly a legend. You've probably seen Brian in some PRS videos.
Absolutely.
He's a very talented guitar player.
Oh, you're very kind.
I'm holding his guitar actually. We'll talk about that in a minute. So we're on the PRS booth, and it's your 35th anniversary this year.
Mine personally, yes.
Well, yes, your personal one.
Yes.
And you don't look a day over 35
Thank you, I
either.
appreciate it.
And there's a few new guitars, aren't there?
Lots of new guitars, and there's some sweeping changes. So like finishes, they're doing nitro, they're calling it knock. It's like nitro over cellulose. Used to be like nitro was a private stock thing. Now all the core is nitro. They're even doing the 594 S2s are nitro. Eventually it's going to be across the board.
Yeah, no,
as an optional extra or as the standard?
No, that's the finish they're using.
I did hear that earlier. I heard that. I don't want to touch holding your hands like that. No, we only got one, but it's fine. I did hear that earlier. I was like, what? I was like, yes, absolutely. And I'm very excited about that.
Oh, I'm going to get boring and geeky now, though. So if you're like a super vintage aficionado and you'll be going, it's not really nitro, but which I don't really know if that's the case, but I can hear them in my head now. So what's the deal with
Okay. I'm a guitar player, first and foremost. I've heard Paul explain it, so I will give you my best, but don't hold me to all this. So he said that what they're doing now is very similar to what like Fender was doing in '64. There's a celluloid bass coat, I think is what he said, but it's a harder bass coat. He said the problem with nitro, doing full nitro, is it's so sensitive to temperature and humidity, and so.
Cracks immediately.
But then the nitro going on top of it is he said, very similar to what you would have found in 1964. Yeah. The goal is obviously to have something protective that looks good and hard, but also, Paul wants thin as possible for sound, which is very difficult to do. Yeah. But he's constantly been working on, he's come up with his own finished builds. The finished build through PRS has changed year to year to year to year, and he's really been dialing this in. They started off trying it out on a few models and starting like halfway. That's one of the things that they were working on this past year, along with crazy back orders because everybody, the guitars are sought after, and they did a sweeping finish change. But he was like, they've got it locked in, and it looks and sounds great. And
I think I've seen that on, if you as far as I understand, if you use the really traditional form of nitrocellulose lacquering, it goes back to a time when guitars were only made at certain times of year and they weren't exported all around the world.
Well, and he was saying that even I didn't realize this, but a lot of times they would, if they were shipping guitars in January, they would take the southern route. Like the trucks would have to go to stay in the warm areas, although it would crack.
Nowadays, if you use that technique on a modern manufacturing, the guitars would be so cracked by the time they get to the dealer, and then the customer goes, I don't want it because it's got a crack on it.
Some people pay extra for that.
Well, I guess if you're
but not on a PRS.
Exactly. Anyway, come on. Should we start with what I'm holding?
Sure.
So apparently you've got some young whippersnapper artist called John Mayall or something, James Mayer, and he has a guitar with you. Is that right?
He does. The Silver Sky, which I'm a huge fan of. I cannot lie. I grew up playing guitars very similar to this, and I'm a critic on them. To me, I'm a single coil fan, but I don't love them all. But when they're right, they're magic. Yeah. I love these pickups. I love the neck. When this thing came out, this was the guitar I did the product demo with, and I left thinking, I already have a Silver Sky. I don't need a second one, and I couldn't stop thinking about it. So I was like, I staked my claim. I marked my territory.
I was holding the blue one exactly like that when we went with Paul. I'm like, look, and he was like, look how he's holding it.
So this one leaves with me tomorrow, and so if you're coming here on Sunday, they're here. They're just not in this color.
Is it a different? The first thing when I picked this up, because the rosewood board ones have a lacquered back of the neck and then the rosewood board.
And this is a satin.
Yeah, and as soon as I picked that up, it had a satin finish on the back with a lacquered board. Yeah. And then I was thinking, it feels quite different. So is it a different neck carve as well, or is it? So it's just the
same pickups, same neck carve.
Very odd.
Yeah.
It's amazing how a micro thing changes.
And and there's two new colors. These two here. This is the Midnight Rose, and this is Polar Blue. I kept wanting to say Polar Ice, but it's Polar Blue. I love John, and his color names are a lot to remember. I have a hard time remembering
I've got
his
in,
color
remember my
names.
name.
in my head.
Mock Sand and
I know.
Dodgem Blue and
In my head, the first time I saw the green one, in the writing I
Ryan
saw said
Green, yeah.
onion green. And it obviously didn't, but that's
Right.
how my dyslexic brain read it.
I do the
and
same
now
thing.
I can't think of that as
yeah.
anything
Green
other
Onions,
than
it's
onion
a great
green.
song too.
I mean, we might as well touch upon probably the guitar that I've had more phone calls about over the NAMM show than any other guitar, which is the limited edition in Nebula.
Yeah, so I showed up. I showed up to when the booth, on Wednesday night, I guess, when I got in to come check out the booth, and we just finished filming the product demos of this, and they were filling me in on what's new. I didn't even know it was a thing. I hadn't even seen it. I was like, "What is this?" I've been telling everybody 8 colors. There's a 9th color. Like, there's only 500. They're already all sold. So it's called Nebula. It's like a multi-flake. So it looks like almost there's about 7 or 8 colors depending on which area you look. It's pretty wild.
Ah, it's
I took
gorgeous.
a photo.
Beautiful.
I got a photo.
We'll show you this on screen now
we'll screen
if
thing,
you've not seen it. But
Yeah.
look at it.
So here's in one light, and of course it's purple, which is me. There's an orange from another angle.
And it's the same light. There's no.
Yeah.
That's not a. That's a white LED light.
Yeah, and I was just walking around
Yeah,
taking the photos.
It's incredible.
So look, like there's like more gold.
I'm telling you, man.
It's incredible.
I think I've got more staff want to buy this guitar than we're going to get, let alone before we even ask customers if they want them.
Well, that's probably why they didn't tell me about it, because they were like, Ewald's going to want one of these, and no.
I
So-
have to.
All right. Well, look, so that's John's new
Yeah.
thing. Let's talk about some other stuff then. What else? Or you want
594s?
Yeah, let's do 594s.
Yeah.
So 594 has obviously only been a core instrument up to this point, and brand new as S2s. Now the one you're holding is unique to the S2. This is the only model. This is the thin line. So there's a single cut and a double cut, just like the So this is basically the S2 version of a single
Sorry,
cut.
I've missed that. So when you say thin line, you don't mean hollow, like
No.
a Telecaster thin
No.
line. You're talking about
Thinner body.
physically thinner.
But it's also, there's no maple cap also. So it's a
Just straight mahogany.
mahogany without the maple cap. This is a wide, thin neck. That is pattern vintage. So it's also a different neck profile. And if you notice, toggle switch is down here.
Oh, yeah.
This may remind you of another thinner 4-knob guitar made famous in the 61 to 70.
That's got a bit of that, or maybe it's just the light in here. It's got a bit of that. It's me. It's my brain.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
pearlescence thing, is that
Yeah, it's
what
got that. When you turn it, it's a different color. There's mahogany there.
this,
Oh my god.
this one, we did an A/B test. I did a little clinic with Tim Pierce yesterday on stage where we started off playing the core versions of these two, played for a minute, and then we both switched to the S2 versions of the exact same guitar, just
Are they
to show everybody.
exact same pickups or different pickups?
These are 5815S's,
Right.
wound for Paul to his specs, and he goes back and forth. So these aren't hand wound in Maryland, but I've A/B'd them. To me, they sound like 5815s. So they aren't. Other than that, exact same bridge, same tuners. The biggest difference is the flat top with a bevel as opposed to the violin carve. That's where the biggest savings is. It's just time. Takes about, not quite, but almost twice as long to build a core version because of the shape. All the sanding stages. And this has the thinner single piece of wood neck with a scarf joint.
And sorry if you said this before, but what's the finish? Has S2 got the old style finish and it's just core got the nitro?
From what I was just told was that the only S2s that have the nitro at this point are the 594s.
Okay.
Eventually it will, it'll
Cool.
cover, but so these have the same finish as the core.
Nice.
So bang for the buck.
Yeah.
Pretty awesome. And that thin line is a whole new thing of its own, which is great. So I already love those, but this might be my favorite just because it's new. It's got its own thing. And
It's a nice weight, really
Love
nice
it.
weight, isn't it? And yeah, it feels good.
yeah.
There we go. Okay.
Yeah.
What else is new and exciting?
We've got the SE hollow bodies. These came out about a month ago.
Sorry,
We got some of them in the shop actually.
Isn't that mad? I tell you, you could step away from this wall and just look along it, and just see guitars that you would think are all thousands of pounds, all made in the US.
It's almost impossible to visually look at it and go, okay, tell me which is the expensive one
and then
which is the cheap one.
No, SE, and it's my brain's only just kicked in. It's like, oh, SE hollow body. So what if you guys all know this, but meaning like part of the affordable line.
First time they've made a full hollow body guitar outside of the core line. They haven't made an S2, so I don't know what this is going to go for in the UK. I know in the US this street's okay. Yeah, this is $9.99 in the US.
So this is wider than a custom 24, isn't it? So
yes. Well,
as in
the biggest difference with these guitars is that this is a bent laminate as opposed to a carved top. Obviously, a huge cost savings. When I first played it, they're just different. I like this. In a way, like there's tones that this does because some of my favorite hollow body tones are laminate guitars. So it's just a different thing. There's not a better or worse. This is the hollow body too. So this is the maple top and back. The last one you were holding was just all mahogany.
Okay.
So that's the hollow body standard.
Yeah.
Paul speak for all mahogany.
Yeah.
And hollow body 2 meaning the two sides of maple.
Ramir's raving about these. He's raving about the grey colour one. He keeps looking and going, I need one.
I just think that slightly wider thing gives it a real, it's almost like a 339 kind of vibe.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And these are the same pickups you'd find in there, the 5815S's.
Cool.
They sound great and all, but they really, really match this guitar. Really warm and round, but like.
We need to do a video on those, right?
Yes.
What else?
I can introduce you to someone.
Do it, yeah.
I know a guy.
You know a guy. You know plenty of guys.
That looks new.
So, Mira, Starla were discontinued last year. It's a little dance we got going here. So the Mira and the Starla were discontinued from the S2 line last year and brought back this year as SEs. So
another one I'm sitting there.
SE. So this
what?
This guitar US is $699, I think, and I've got a guitar that looks essentially like this, the semi-hollow version.
Yeah.
I came in to play the video, and I'm like shutting my eyes, going like, if you told me I wasn't playing mine, I'd never know.
That's why I blindfold
on the old Mira, did that have a more conventional pickup surround?
No, I don't believe it did. I think it was mounted in the pickguard. The only reason I'm trying to remember is that I have covered pickups in mine.
I just don't. I don't recall.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, I see in that. I don't recall the Mira scratch plate kind of coming around the pickup. Maybe it did.
I believe it did.
That's a Starla, isn't it?
Yeah. So these are the Starlas now. Obviously, with the Starla, you notice the Bigsby's gone. That was the other thing.
Starla SE again.
Yeah, but it's still
SE.
And these the pickups, they've given the pickups
color.
a new name. They're called, I think they're called DS2s, double slug. Yeah, but it's essentially, if you've heard the Starla
Don't leave
pickups,
this in your Cabbage Patch Kids.
don't put
There'll be
salt on
nothing
it.
left by the morning. I love that color.
Yeah,
that's good.
You have the worst light in the entire show in this booth. It's like, let's show all these guitars off in the dark. It's like, but hopefully you can see that here. It's like, oh, look, it goes like blue, green. Awesome. I like it.
Right.
So that, and the only really outside of the Nebula that you saw, and the Dragon. Did you see the Dragon? Yeah.
Actually, you know what? We should do that because the Dragon, I got the email and I'm like straight away to my purchasing team, don't buy any of these. Because in my head, and this will make you laugh, I won't say who the name of the shop is, but another big UK store had like a centerpiece of their store was like a Dragon PRS from like 20, and it must have been there for like 20 years. It was like £50,000 or something. Might even have been a double neck, which might have been half the problem.
Yeah.
So I was like, don't
That's
buy,
a niche
don't buy.
market.
And then it was like, and then it was, I got like a Dragon itch, and I could see every time I bumped into the purchasing team, everyone's got the Dragon itch. It's like, I think they're pretty cool. I think that, and anyway, it went in like 48 hours from like, don't buy any, to like, we've now got 3 coming. So we've got to show people what this looks like.
Let's have a look at it.
Okay.
I thought it would be cool if the fire actually glowed, like if there was like a little LED, So is that a little cheesy?
Well, so this is private stock, right?
Well,
kind of?
Yes, I mean it's built by the private stock team, but it's more of a, it's a just an exclusive run of like there's 135 of them. They're already all sold.
So you've got this like quadruple A flame top going on here. The hardtail, the pickups are the new.
So it's whenever they put out a Dragon, I think this is the 9th one,
right?
And you know the first one was like 92, and there was only like 25 of them or what. You know, I mean they're. This may be the largest number, like 135. I don't know if they've ever made that many.
Is, yeah.
But each one is based on a model. Like the first one was almost more like a McCarty, almost like early, like it was, I think it was actually, if I'm not mistaken, that might have been the first 22 fret PRS. Because they weren't making 22 frets yet, and in 92, I think they started 22 fret net jig, and the Dragon was where it started.
Crazy.
I may be wrong, the internet will tell me if I am.
Yeah, absolutely. 100%.
So the basis of this guitar is generally based off of the Paul's guitar. You know, the two, you know, doesn't have the two little mini toggles, but you know, it's a tweaked version of Paul's guitar.
So how many different pieces of precious, you know,
They're
material?
all yeah, I mean,
how many different? There's like hundreds and hundreds of different pieces.
Can you find Paul Miles? Sure can. I'm gonna find the guy who could tell you all of that exact information, because otherwise you and I would both be guessing like how many pieces of candy are in this bowl.
And you can
great.
Let's count them for the internet right now, slowly. Paul Miles, who runs the private, he's going to come out and he'll give us all those details.
So
anyway, we can't find Paul. That's Paul Miles. It's super busy in here, but we've been reliably informed that the inlay, the Dragon inlay, is made up of over 225 pieces. Each piece, the fretboard's laser cut, the piece is put in with a tiny weeny pair of tweezers, just like that. And anyway, it's amazing, isn't it?
I mean, all the details, every aspect of it. If you look at the rosewood tuning pegs to the fire going across the nut onto the truss rod cover. And, these are.
Do you do a relic version? I'm kidding.
Yes, actually, that's my job. I hold it and scratch it up, and. I can knock the guitar's value down quicker than
this.
You just.
All right, man. Well, look, let's just end this with us all dribbling over a guitar that's in here. Oh my goodness! I mean, I'm not even. I genuinely. This is one of those guitars that I think you'll start to see deposits appearing on eBay, and people going, "Hey, I've got my $500 deposit on one of these, and I'm definitely getting one. You can buy my deposit for $2,000 if you want."
Man,
it's like, I really do. So I'm not even sure if we do get any. I might even do like Norm does from Norm's Rare Guitars and just hide them for 10 years and then bring them out and swap them for a really expensive car or something.
Apart from the one that I'm going to take home with me.
Yeah.
Anyway, look.
It's right up your alley color-wise.
It's great to see you again, man.
You too. Always
please
good time.
Get Paul to put you on an airplane. Come to the UK one day and come shoot some videos.
I would love to. I will definitely do it. Actually, I'll probably be coming back there. Not this March, but next March for something else. But if not before then, definitely then.
Well, that is planning in the future, but we'll do it. Okay. See you guys later. Thanks for watching. Here we go. Right. Well, look. This is a high-class demo. We're in some sort of, I don't know, maintenance corridor here, but it's the only place we can find some good light. So I've got the Dragon. As you can see close up now, it's way more impressive than it was when it was just hanging in that glass cabinet. It's not too bad weight-wise. It's actually reasonably light, I think, for a PRS guitar. But it's the inlays is what's crazy. I don't know what it's breathing, like the blue into the yellow into the red. It's like lava, molten lava coming out of its mouth. Yeah, over 225 different pieces. Check like the Dragon's belly out. Imagine how long that takes someone to physically cut an inlay without any filler all around it. It's like, I suspect probably 99% of guitars take less long to build than just literally doing like 3 frets worth of inlay work. And as an extra bonus,
oh, sorry.
Or do you want to come in?
I'll come in.
Look.
Have fun with it. Just leave them, set them down on the ground anywhere.
We'll set them down in our hotel room.
We're going out the fire exit down there.
And here it is, the nebula. And wherever you turn it, for me now it's blue. for me, now it's purple. And then there's another angle where it's gold. I can't, and it depends on how the light. And did you have it go? Tell me when it's gold. Blue.
And if you're colorblind, it's any color you want it to be.
Exactly.
Just literally, you make it up, twist it. It's there, baby.
There's some orange for me now, but I mean, this is a great idea, and it matches the jacket that John was wearing in that picture. You know.
He's gonna definitely dig this. Oh man!
Isn't that cool? Limited to 500 pieces.
So and 500 pieces. That's it. I suspect by the time this video's come out, if you haven't already got one, then you might be able to get one of these though.
Oh my god!
Right, come on. Let's give these back to a PRS guy, or maybe we just get out of here, run down.